Satsang, hello yogis and yoginis. Welcome back to the channel. One more video. Just a little announcement. I've been away, I've been traveling a lot and I'm still traveling. I'm going this week again, going to Greece this time. And I will be back on the 25th, so expect that from the 25th of September onwards, I'm going to be much more stable and going back to a regular rhythm. I have plenty of things prepared for videos and a new course that is coming up. I've dedicated a lot of hours to prepare it. And it's going to be about sound and letters, the letters of the alphabet. I'm going to go deeper than in the how's it called? Mantra workshop, mantra course, the mantra course that I did, and now it's been like 2 years ago. I did a little bit on it, but this time I'm going to go much deeper. I'm going to explore it with the numbers. Today, again, is a little transitional video just to do something on the way before I'm fully stable. And I will continue with the email that I had. I did another video on questions and answers from a few weeks back. One of our viewers sent an email and she was asking some questions, Jayamar Kaur. And I could only do half of the email in the last video, so today my idea was to continue and finish those questions and so give as much as I can answers to those questions that she was presenting. So let's go straight away with that. Let me just check that the connection is good. I haven't been for so long that I am almost forgetting how to do the streaming and so on. It's I'm a little bit rusty with the technology of the streaming, but I think it should be okay. So one of the questions that Jayamar was asking is, what number is autonomy? Feeling autonomous, is that the one, is that the second, or is the second needed? Because if there is only one, there is no division, so it's always autonomous. Okay. So yeah, autonomy. Yeah, I would say aligns pretty much with the 1 and the 9, that you don't depend on something else, something external. If there was a 2, then you would be depending on the second one. In fact, one of the experiences of number 2 is that you need the other one to be complete. That's why 1 is being alone, but 2 is feeling lonely. Yeah, 2 is feeling lonely means that you are lacking something, you are needing something, and so, or someone, yeah. So when there is the 2, there is kind of like a dependency on something else to feel that completeness. While when you are 1 by itself, you are complete. Now, the number of completion is not 1. The number of something that is complete, that would be more towards the 10. Full. Yeah, this is taking me also. Okay, I am feeling. You can notice that I haven't prepared these questions, right? I'm improvising on the spot, so be a little bit patient with me. There is in the Mool Mantra we have Nirbhav, Nirver, that's 6 and 7. Akal Murat, that's 8. Ajuni, that's 9. And then Seibang, that's 10. Okay, so Seibang means self-illumined. Self-illumined means that it produces light by itself. It doesn't need something external to be visible and luminous. And that's why the 10th spiritual body is assigned with the radiant body. So 1 and 9 would be, I am alone and I am fine being alone. I don't need anything else. And I can do things by myself. And feeling complete, feeling absolute complete and self-radiant in that way, that would be more towards the 10, which, 1 plus 0 is 1, so 10 would be kind of like a 1, but on another stage. So yeah, autonomous. Now, when you are in the 1, in the number 1 is more like the number of the baby. So it's you go through the journey from 1 to 9 to get towards the number 9, the hermit, this card in the tarot. So I would say it's more the 9 than the 1, this feeling of autonomy. But yeah, things that can run by themselves, that would be 1. And if it's like a complete system by itself, then it's like the 10. Yeah. There is no division, there is no separation, and so there is no other numbers that are interfering in such a way. Okay. Let's see next question. If a client has questions about if euthanasia is appropriate in a certain situation, how do you proceed? In the sense of, is it ethical? Does it need a hukam? Okay, then there is another question about hukam. Okay, let me answer this first. So if a client has questions about if euthanasia is appropriate in a certain situation, how do you proceed? Okay, that's a tough question, because it's highly philosophical, and the answer could be very subjective. Now, if this is like these videos are helping people who are studying Karan Kriya to become consultants. So the way the question is asked is, if I'm doing a consultation and somebody is asking me about this, about euthanasia. In that case, there is consultations. You can have like a dual approach to it. Let me explain it. Sometimes when somebody comes to me for a consultation, I find myself taking the role of the consultant, but sometimes I find myself taking the role of the yoga teacher. Sometimes they want some teachings. They are asking some guideline from the teachings of yoga and Karan Kriya. So, generally when somebody has a consultation, is because they want to ask somebody to help them, guide them with some decision they have to make, some choices, or they are dealing with some trauma or dealing with some fear that they want to approach, or they don't know if they did right in a certain situation. They want to ask you if you can guide them. But we don't provide a guidance in the sense that we say, yes, you did right, or no, you did wrong, things like that. It's not our role to judge. It's not our role to say whether somebody believes euthanasia is right or wrong, especially when it's something like that, like a topic that could be approached from many angles. But mostly our position as consultants, now I said there is a dual approach, so as consultants, our approach would be to ask questions, see how they feel, and deal with the state of the person with their feelings and their emotions and their thoughts, to help them resolve the conflict, whatever conflict is there. It's not necessarily my role to say, look, this is wrong, you shouldn't be doing it. But if there is something that is happening and it's karmic, then it is part of our role to identify it and to explore it with them. Put it in front and say, look, this attitude, is this karmic or is it not karmic, and so on. So that's one approach. So like somebody will come to a consultation, they will ask something much simpler, but I'm eating meat and I'm feeling guilty because I want to be a good yogi, and I understand yoga means being a vegetarian, but I am still eating meat. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the actual judgment of whether eating meat is good or bad. Now, there is some karma associated to eating meat, but there is also karma to go against your body. Maybe your body needs meat for whatever insufficiency that you have, and maybe you are not ready to know how to do a vegetarian diet. There's a lot of factors that can go in, and so we don't take the position of like a judge trying to determine whether what was done is correct or not correct, or what's going to be done is correct or not correct, but rather try to find what's the position of the client. Is it a position that is embracing all the possibilities? Are they missing something? Is something in their blind spot that we can help to see with the guidance of the numbers? And where is the karma and where is the dharma in that situation? And then from there find out how the person needs to proceed to feel well with themselves in the decision that they make. So our objective, of course, is to help them get rid of karma, but it's not just about, okay, so you should drop all meat and just be vegetarian. Well, we have to see the context. We have to see what's happening around them. We are not going to take it from a perspective of a moral perspective, but actually, is there karma being generated or not, and how can we deal with that? So hopefully that clears out some of the question. Now, I said it's a dual approach. So the other approach is the yoga teacher. Maybe the person doesn't know anything about vegetarianism, doesn't know anything about karma even. And so we may need to have that conversation. And I don't try to impose my philosophy or my understanding of the world and the teachings. But if that person is coming to you and they are paying some money and they are asking for your time, it's because they feel some sort of alignment or attraction towards what you believe in some way. So they are asking for understanding better these teachings. So, okay, I'm going to provide the teaching. So what does yoga say about vegetarianism? What does yoga say about, in this case, euthanasia? And so we need to talk about the teachings of yoga. In that case, the consultation feels a bit more like you are the yoga teacher. And also, especially with sensitive topics like this, you have to check also how willing to receive your comments is the other person. They may ask something, but are they really ready to listen to the answer? And is there some other obstacle to talking about this? And can we deal with that? For example, in the vegetarianism, there is the concepts of, whether it creates karma or not, or so on. But I mentioned before, I want to be a good yogi and I feel guilty because I'm eating meat. Okay, then let's talk about that guilt. And let's guilt and shame, we know they are mind games. So can we deal with those even before we discuss whether for that person it's appropriate to start right away to be a vegetarian, or they need to change or adjust something, or maybe it's not for them. So we need to deal with the mind games. Remember that in the sequences of numbers, 7 is before the others, so 7, 5, 1, 2, yeah? So we need to deal with those beliefs. And if so, if you're talking about another topic like euthanasia, then we would ask, well, what are your beliefs around that? How do you feel about that? And what have you learned about yoga that says about this? And you know about the spirit and the soul and the past lives and future lives, and how does it work, and the whole process. It can be a complex conversation. Yeah, there is a lot of things going on that if somebody is not proficient in yoga, they may not know anything about that philosophy. There is a lot of misunderstandings about the topic of reincarnation. Yeah, can I just die and reincarnate as a worm? These kind of questions. Yeah, and so there could be more clarity. Then your position, more like a consultant to ask questions, sometimes is to bring some of that information. To say, well, let me say a little bit about how yoga understands reincarnation, about how yoga understands karma. And, if we're talking euthanasia, it's because some heavy karma thing happened to that person. So let's talk about those. And there's never, with these very philosophical points, there's never really an absolute answer to everything. There is no equation that I can give now the solution to. There is no recipe to solve all the problems, no? And it can be applied to everybody who is having this issue. Absolutely not. And you have to go person by person. That's why I cannot just commit myself and say, no, look, if this is happening, this is what you should say, and this is what the person should do. That there is no such a black and white thing. There is always, we need to see the context, and we need to see what are the factors that are influencing. And that would be the role of you as a consultant. But always take it in consideration that they came to you. So if they came to you, then it's for a reason, right? I have this, I believe in reincarnation, and that's, you could say it's a belief, but I believe is universal to everyone, whether you believe in it or not, like gravity. Whether you believe or not, and you throw something, it's going to fall to the ground. So reincarnation works in the same way. But you could say, well, that's your belief. Okay, fine, that's my belief. But if you sit in front of me, then I'm going to approach it from here. And if you don't like the approach that I have, then you're welcome to not hear it. So that's how we should approach it. The second question you were asking is that do they need a hookup? Where can a client take a hookup guided by a teacher who can help with interpretation? This is a general question. A hookup is just asking a question, opening a spiritual book, hopefully a spiritual book, but actually you could do hookup with any book, and you would find, if you tune in and you ask for guidance, you could find, answer in the Count of Monte Cristo, right? You take a book and you ask a question, you open the book, and there's going to be something for you there. Sometimes when somebody is recommending me a book, they say, look at this book, it's really nice. And they offer to me, maybe it's a book I don't want to read, I have other things that I'm interested in reading, and I don't want to read this book. But then I say, just leave me for a moment. And I ask, well, what do you have for me? I ask the book, what do you have for me? And then I open randomly, right? I ask the question and I put the intention to get a message. And then I read those pages. And I'm like, well, thank you very much. Okay, that was for me. I appreciate, and I can return the book, yeah? So you can do hookup on your own. You don't need anybody giving you an interpretation. And actually, nobody is better to interpret a hookup than yourself in some ways. Just like dreams, many people have a dream and then they want somebody to interpret the dream for them, or they want to go and look for these books that they talk about archetypes and dreams, and they are helpful to a certain degree, but nobody is better prepared to understand your dreams than you are. Somebody can guide you, somebody can, ask questions and find clarity, but you know your own mind, so you know your own dreams, how they manifest. And in the same way, the hookup is going to speak to the person. Now, somebody can help you get that understanding from that hookup, and for this, any teacher, any spiritual teacher, and or a yoga teacher with some experience can guide you through that. So in a way, is where do you feel the call of the soul? Yeah, your soul is telling you, well, ask this guy or ask this girl. They can have something to help me. So maybe you did a hookup and you're not sure about the interpretation, but then maybe you share it with a neighbor. You know what I read today? This is what, whoever you feel the call to share it with, maybe that's the one that has the answer for you. So it doesn't have to be necessarily some expert in hookups, right? And but yeah, if it's somebody that they are used to taking hookups and they are used to these teachings and they have read this language before, they will be more ready to give a more contextualized answer, more clear cut. If it's your neighbor, they might give you a hint that will help you to unravel the meaning, but why not? You may find an answer anywhere. Actually, if you are with the ears open, sometimes we are around the city, we move, we interact with other people, and suddenly, or you overhear a conversation in the bus, whatever, and they may be saying something that is highly relevant to you. So hookup will manifest anywhere. There is divine intelligence around us, guiding us, and if we pay attention, this intelligence is guiding us, even if we don't actively go to a book and open it. Yeah, it's guiding us all the time. All right, another question. In the book by Ardaas Singh, page 5, 7 soul types. What are the 7 soul types? What are the 7? I don't know. I don't know what he meant by that. That's just a very, very particular thing from his book. I wouldn't know. I don't have the book right here. Let me check. Yeah. Okay. Right here. Let's see. Page 5. So that was in the introduction, must be. Oh yeah, this is where he gives many examples, like the 9 treasures, 9 initiations, the 8 limbs, and then he gets to the 7 and talks about 7 soul types. I don't know. It's probably something of a wider knowledge. Let me search in Google. There are multiple concepts of 7 soul types. Is like the artisan, the king, the scholar, the priest. Oh, it might be like these archetypes. It could be like archetypes. I mean, the number 7 implies archetypes in some way because 7 is archetypal, and maybe it means something like that, the artisan, the king. But I do not know. I cannot give you a more detailed answer for that. Also in the book, page 1 to 7. Okay, let me check. Page 1 to 7, about the number 4. Your power lies in the heart of the wound, though there can be a conflict. Okay. Okay. Practically, does that imply that feeling through the wound, being with the pain, can be healing in itself? Okay. So your power lies in the heart of the wound. This is interesting. Huh? The wound is the pain. Sorry, I just closed that window. Okay. So there is a pain there. Your power lies in the heart of the wound. There can be a conflict. Does this imply the feeling through the wound, being with the pain, can be healing in itself? Sanan Sohail, hello, welcome. Good to see you. Please let me know if the audio is good, if you can hear me well, because the last video I recorded, there was some audio issues. I don't know where they came from, but let me know if you can hear me properly. And it's good to see you. I hope you had a good summer. Okay, so let's talk about this pain thing. It's interesting. I was just talking about this the last weekend. I was teaching number 4 in Italy, in very close to Bologna. I was a few days over there, and we were talking about the concept of pain. So, sound is fine? Oh, excellent. Thanks, Sohail. So, pain is number 4. It's actually, there is 2 different kinds of pain, but the pain in number 4 is the one that wakes you up, the one that is like sudden, or the one that is intense, the one that you feel in the heart. That's the number 4 pain. And that kind of pain is inherent with this human life, right? Human is number 4. So just by being human, there is a pain in the heart. There is a pain of being incarnated in this planet. Who knows what the soul has to go through to get into this human body? And you know, this human heart that is so sensitive feels this experience of pain. And there is a pain that is just excuse me a second. There is a number of pains that we feel in this heart. There is our personal, private pain of whatever you experience in your heart that was painful, like for example, somebody betrayed your trust and they stabbed you in the back. This is what we were talking about in last weekend. Somebody stabs you in the back and you feel this pain in the heart, and you carry that with you, and then next time it's going to be harder to trust somebody. So that's a kind of pain, yeah, and it leaves a little bit of wound that is hard to heal sometimes, and it can be even traumatic, yeah, and you can carry that with you. And out of this, we may close ourselves, we may close our heart and put a cuirass, like armor in front to not feel so much, because the heart is very sensitive. So that's a kind of pain, but there is more. As the heart opens, this pain, this sensitivity, tunes into the pain around us. So as we begin to develop our sensitivity through the practice of yoga or meditation, we become more sensitive also to the outside pain around us. And so sometimes we may feel that pain in the heart, and actually very often we are unable to differentiate one pain from the other. So we feel pain in the heart and we then realize that actually I'm just empathically connecting to the people around me and I'm feeling their pain. And there's pain everywhere. Huh? You don't have to be in front of a person, but there is pain in the atmosphere, in the magnetic field. So I'm feeling a pain and I need to be able to learn to differentiate. Is it my pain or is it the pain of those around me? Or is it just this universal pain of being human, just by being in this human existence? So there's many layers of pain, but all of them can be utilized to awaken and enrich your awareness. Now remember, pain is not the same as suffering, okay? You may be feeling experience of pain, even in the heart. You may be listening to somebody's story, and this is actually really important for a consultant, because we talk to people who go through all sorts of experiences in life. I heard horrible things that you're like, my goodness, how can people do things like that? No, and somebody who has gone through terrible experiences in life, and when you are in front of somebody who has gone through all that, your own heart and your own compassion is going to be, compassion means compassion. To com is to compartir, to share. We say, it's a share the pathos, the pain of the other. So through your compassion, you have a common pain with the other, and you can, because we have suffered, because we are humans, because we have a heart and a sensitivity, that pain touches us. I mean, you hear some of those stories, you cannot help but feeling those emotions and that pain in yourself. Now, that doesn't mean I have to suffer from that. I mean, I can feel the pain. It doesn't mean I have to be in the suffering and also get attached to it. And also when the client leaves, when the person in front of you leaves, I don't have to take this pain with me. So I can take the lessons from that pain. We can learn things through the pain, but I don't have to take the pain itself. And definitely I don't need to suffer from that. Otherwise, if we are too, how do you say that? I think there is a psychological term like locus of control or something like that. Like we have a layer that they should have a certain permeability, in ourselves, and we should be able to control that permeability. So we should be able to choose what we want to let through or not. And sometimes if we don't have this capacity to choose what comes in or not, it's like you are too permeable, everything is coming in, and then you have a consultation and then you end up 3 hours depressed afterwards. You can see this a lot in people who work with energy, particularly they do Reiki or pranic healing, or even just masseurs. They are touching the body of the other. If they don't have a strong aura and this field and this permeability layer under their conscious choice, then at the end you end up exhausted and no energy, right? And the emotions got inside. So, okay, feeling pain, there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, it's natural and it's even necessary to be human. Can you just learn not to suffer from that and to take it as part of your awakening? So that's one thing. And I think this is connected to what Shiv Charan says, about that there doesn't have to be a conflict. The power lies in the heart of the wound. And also the heart of the wound and the wound in the heart. I think he's playing around with the words, because that is the wound of being human, and there is sensitivity in that. And that sensitivity is also needed to then be present, to be aware, and present, to pre-sense what's coming. So to be intuitive and be able to move towards your destiny. If you have no sensitivity, you're not going to be able to grab those things. Also with the hukam, you're not going to be able to understand, receive and then learn from that hukam. So those are the things. So being aware of that. So you were asking, being with the pain can be healing in itself. In a way, it can. In a certain way, it can. Or let's say also that if there was a wound that was trapped, there was some pain that you felt and it was trapped because we closed the heart and now there's some scar tissue on top, then that's going to be always with us and it's going to be tainting our experience. And maybe like what I said, you feel somebody betrays you. Now it's harder to trust in people, and you close your heart and you put some scar tissue on top and you pretend that it's fine. Actually, you are fine, but it's because you are not feeling what's inside. Now, to release that pain, if you ever want to heal it, there's going to be pain. If you want to heal that memory so that you can fully open your heart and innocently trust again, then you are gonna experience pain to go through the process of that healing. And then again, suffering is gonna be subjective, yeah, how you suffer through that, but pain will be part of the ingredients. And then the next point is your experience of separation is like one long, drawn out moment, yet at the same time, a lasting memory of a sudden shock. So what does it mean? A long, drawn out moment. I'm going to try to explain my understanding of it, but I'm not sure what Shivcharan would mean by this. I'm just going to say how I feel that he's referring to this. So the experience of separation is like one long drawn out moment. So it means like there is something long, and it's drawn out is like in the time. He uses this word long because it's linked to the sound ong, and ong is very linked to the om, which is what we chant at the beginning of the yoga class, and that's when we chant this sound ong, is to tune in to that part of us that feels the longing, long to belong, the longing to belong to something divine, something spiritual, something high. So let's go back. Our soul chose, or it was the right moment to incarnate, came into this human body. That goes accompanied by a pain, a human pain in the heart, and that's also linked to this feeling that I'm separate. It's not true, but it feels like that. The moment we are into this body, we feel that we are isolated, and we are separate from the divine, and we are separate from the cosmos. And so, through the path of yoga and the way Patanjali describes so well, reaching samadhi, you can go back to the feeling of unity. Yoga means unity. And then there is no separation. And then you realize, there was never a separation, but it felt like that. And it felt like that throughout a long time. So this is the long drawn out moment. It happened in a moment, right? The soul came here into this body, like the baby, the umbilical cord is cut, and it's just one moment, but the drama and the tragic shock of what's happening, coming out of the mother's body, and suddenly into this world of light and noise, and well, that's like an instant, but it carries on, it goes along. And it's a lasting memory, of a sudden shock. This is the way Shivcharan describes it. So that's that long moment of pain, of separation, apparent separation. This is the source of our sadness and of all sadness and all pain in a way. All the suffering, actually suffering, comes from here, from feeling separate and feeling divided or distinct and different. So rather than avoiding it, in yoga we tune into that through the Ong, and we say, well, okay, there's a part of me who is calling, calling to the universe, where are you, And Ong, so we call through that longing, and that's our way of connecting. If we ignore that, if we forget that, and we get distracted, we do things and forget that we are a soul and we are, interacting with the world on a horizontal plane, then we forget, and therefore we disconnect from the source and disconnect from the divine. The moment that we feel pain again, and the moment we go back to that suffering and we explore and we experience again this separation, suddenly there is this sadness coming back, like a melancholic feeling. It comes back and it's like, I need to do yoga again. I need to go and meditate. And we feel the need to close our eyes and go within. And that's healthy. That's the thing that is going to bring you back to the source. Without that feeling, you forget. We get hypnotized by the world, and it's distracting, and it's fun, and it's interesting, and entertaining. And we are in the circus of the world, and we forget that we don't really belong here. We are just transiting. We are just having some little journey through here, like a little traveling. Okay, I think This is the last question. It's a long question. In the training, we learn, if I remember it well, that it is stronger to work with an affirmation that works with the 2 times negative rather than the positive. For example, I am not. It has to do with the subconscious that reverses the affirmation from the inside. Do I understand this correct? Can you give an example? I cannot give an example because I'm not sure 100% what you mean about the double negative. I know double negative is utilized sometimes in some psychological approaches. Like, for example, in hypnosis, some people utilize the double negative to confuse the intellectual mind and go direct into the subconscious and to implant some instruction or something. So don't stop feeling like this. Don't stop. So it's like, don't stop feeling means continue feeling, right? So maybe this is what you want, like an example, no? Never stop continuing this remembrance, right? Never stop continuing this remembrance, okay? So you mean to continue to remember? Okay, yeah. But somehow it short circuits the mind for a second, and then you have access to somewhere a bit deeper. So I guess this is what you mean. Now, the double negative is used to confuse and to speak in a hypnotic way. Some people actually utilize it to their own benefit, so it's not with higher intentions, but actually to try to control you to do something that they want. And but there is other factors as well. Some people respond very well to opposites. Some people are really, I don't know how to say it, like reactive. Yeah, maybe reactive. So if you say something, they're gonna do the opposite just because you told them to do this, or you are like, oh, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you're gonna be able to do that. And they're going to prove to you that they can, and they're going to do it just to prove to you that they can do it. Maybe they didn't even have an interest in doing it, but you wanted them to do it. So you're like, there's this other project that needs to be done, but I don't think you can do this kind of thing. I think I'm going to give it to somebody. I'll try to find somebody to do this because I don't think you're capable. And the other one, I'll do it, So this is like utilizing a negative to provoke the part of the other one that is reactive to that, and then therefore accomplish what you want. You want the other one to do that, so you tell them that they cannot do it, and they do it. This happens often with teenagers, I believe. Yeah, the parents say something, and the teenagers will do the opposite. So you have to be careful how you phrase things. That can be one thing. Now there's something else about the no as well. I remember when I was studying NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, they were talking about by the way, this hypnotic language is also learned there, but they were talking about the power, they were talking about how to avoid the no and utilize affirming sentences. So when we are, we establish some rapport with the person, and then we are guiding them in whatever they want to accomplish, and to affirm things that are going to guide them forward. So utilizing the positivity and the affirmation, and to empower their change. But actually, this is something that from Karan Kriya we see it a little bit different from NLP, which is that rather than avoiding the no, which is like saying no to the no, embracing the power of no, because no is 218. 218 is water, and water has some power. And so when you say to somebody to not, pay attention to this. This is not an outcome that you want. This is not something that you are going to benefit from. Recognize that this is not where you want to go. This is not your destiny. This is not. That no can be much more powerful than saying, well, see if there is something that is going to be more positive for you. So affirmations are great in a way. I remember reading some book on affirmations. I don't remember which book it was. But there is a lot in popular psychology on affirmations, and they are limited. they have some limited capacity to transform. And you need a lot of willpower to just with affirmations alone to move on. Sometimes, because otherwise you do the affirmation, but a part of you knows that that's not true, or you feel that that's not true. So you say, I am beautiful and healthy, and you don't feel like that. And a part of you like, yeah, you keep saying that, yeah. So it could be powerful to say, I negate my, I don't know this example, how would it be, but I'm not going to think bad about my image. Right? I am not whatever is the bad image. And from a NLP perspective, that would be not beneficial, because you are reinforcing that word that you are saying to yourself. But from the Karen Kriya perspective, the no can be very powerful, and you can negate something. You can utilize the power of the no to remove it. And then we know that a mantra will be even stronger than this, right? In whatever words we use, they can operate on a certain level, from the semi-conscious to a little bit of the subconscious, but mantra can go even all the way down to the unconscious. So the power of mantra will have a much deeper effect than just simply using affirmations or these, good sentences that we would like to bring into our life. That's great that we do it, but with a mantra we'll be even more empowered. Satnam, Simon, hello, good to connect. A big hello from Australia. Me and my wife are working through your material. Thank you for all the work and video content. Why you do, Simon? I'm glad you are watching the videos in all the way in Australia. We're so far away. I was just with some Australian people back this summer, and I'm happy that you are watching the videos. Thank you for watching. Yes, keep going. Let me know if there is anything that you would like to explore. Just drop me a message and I will do it in a future video. I have a new content coming up. I've been very relaxed these last two months. I've been traveling a lot. Then the other 2 months I was with issues with my computer. All this is resolved. On the 25th of September I'm back. Right now I have one more journey, and then when I'll be back I'll start producing a lot of videos, so you can look forward to that as well. And it's a good thing to do with your wife. I don't know if you are yogis, but excellent. So thank you for watching. All right, there we go. So that's the use of the no and the double negatives. Hopefully that was a useful example. And yes, we can utilize the no has power, and we need to learn to use the no. Actually, in Kundalini Yoga, we say about the mind having 3 axes, like the negative, the positive, and the neutral. And we often tend to think of the negative mind as something bad and the positive mind as something good. But actually, it doesn't work like that. Negative and positive, they are just 2 polarities. And it's important to cultivate the neutrality of the neutral mind to be able to make conscious neutral choices in life. However, that also means to listen to the negative and listen to the positive and make a conscious neutral choice. And sometimes the neutral choice will be to do what the negative mind says. Now, the negative mind is extremely powerful, and it's important if we want, for example, to keep healthy. You have to be able to say no to the kind of food that is not good for you. And that saying no is like empowering you. And this is something that I've experienced, especially with women. They have a lot of, sometimes bigger challenge than men, to learn how to say no. And there is a power in the no. So remember that when you are not saying no to something in the outside, you are saying a no to the inside. So if you're saying, okay, yeah, I'll do it to somebody, just so that because you don't want to be seen like pushy, or because you are afraid of how they will react or what they will say. Okay, right, all right, I'll do it. And that not saying no, which is what you wanted to say, means that you are negating your own will and your own desire and maybe your own path. So it's very important to learn to say no and utilize it consciously. There we go. And with that completes. Oh, right. So the last video I did was to answer the other questions Then Jayamar just dropped a message in the to that video, and she was saying that when I talked about this speaking in colors, communicating in colors, she was asking me, what do you mean? Do I mean that the colors has connected from the chakras, like communicating from a frequency of that color, or the unconscious or shadow communication? She was asking what did I mean by that, and I don't think I even know exactly what I meant by that. I was just, being I don't know, creative, right? If we are talking to somebody, it's just an intention, but you can say to yourself, well, how would it be if I communicated in yellow with this person? It's such a silly thing because we don't communicate in yellow, we communicate in words. But if you tune into that, what could happen? And I don't know, it's for you to explore and experiment. I've done many experiments like this. In Karankriya, we sometimes do very funny experiments. Like, for example, if you're speaking to somebody, change the angle of the face and talk so that your words go like this, zoop, zoop, rather than the direct. And the communication changes. Or like if I'm speaking to somebody, start to speak from my nose, from the tip of my nose, or from my forehead, or from my ears, rather than from my mouth. Or so you, in this case, when I was talking about the colors, it's just change the frequency. Try to communicate in a different frequency and get the frequency that you're getting from the other. And colors is just an example for somebody who is colorful. It might help. But yeah, certainly you could do it through the communication that is projected from different chakras. Every chakra has one color from the rainbow. So I did a video on that already, communicating from different chakras. You can check it out. It's a long video. It's very interesting about how we can project from the navel or from the heart or from the sixth chakra, and it will have a different impact on the other. And so you can first evaluate where they are and then see how you can adjust to that frequency and then bring the frequency somewhere else if you want the communication to move. So yeah, you could do that with the chakras, but the colors, I would say, it goes even beyond that. Just try to experiment, just explore and be creative in these experiments that we do. I think we can learn a lot by doing these silly things. It looks silly, yeah? Okay, for today, I'm gonna try to speak in yellow. It's just, what do you mean by that? I don't know what I mean. Just try, just make an effort, right? Try to feel yellow and see what comes out. And then you let me know. Write in the comments and the chat how it felt for you to speak in yellow, for example. So just giving examples of exercises that we can do. So thank you very much. Thank you for your patience with the videos as well. Thank you, Sohail, for writing, and Simon as well, and for watching with your wife, and for connecting online and dropping me the message. I am going to invest a lot of energy into this channel and continue to put videos here, and I'll share everything that I have been researching recently. It's very exciting. Get ready for that. It's coming up in end of September, so I'm going to start with that. But for now, thank you very much. If you enjoyed, don't forget the like. I often forget to like some videos, and for YouTube is helpful. Take care. Thank you very much. Satsang.